You know, game tomorrow. May have heard of it. Penn State, West Virginia. And this is a series I call Sunday Questions. Some of you from last year may remember it. This is where I ask the questions that I think I would ask on Sunday if I hadn't seen the game on Saturday. Not really new information, just a little bit different way of looking at it. Sometimes it gives me a slightly different perspective. And then you don't have to listen to the same things being said over and over the same way. And we will get right to that as soon as I say this is WVU football going deep. I am Forrest Poston. I am hot and sweaty. That is the air conditioner you hear in the background. I am not going to turn it off while I do the video because it is way too hot and muggy and everything else. Please share, subscribe, click the thumbs up, click the notification bell, tell your friends, tell the strangers you bump into on the street, tell Neil Brown. Okay, talk. Quick note, I just heard that YouTube has actually lowered the required subscribers for monetizing, doing things like super chats and the donation button, that sort of thing, to 500 instead of 1,000. That means I'm about 95 subscribers away, and if you guys help me, we could hit that in a hurry, and it would help an awful lot. Especially those of you who've been following Bob's story and the about $4,000 vet bill we've run up. So, and that's going on credit. Boy. Okay. Sunday questions. Penn State in Morgantown, or whatever is left of Morgantown after the Pat McAfee show. I haven't been watching it, but I have seen some reactions to it. Sounds like they are having a really good time. All right. First question. Was there a big positive special teams play? Last year, special teams they were mostly good. Now, people talk about when things went wrong. I've said before that was mostly a couple of particular players plus a lack of personnel. Those problems have been corrected. We have a consultant on special teams now. We have some different players. So, did we get a 30 or more yard touchdown or kickoff return or punt return? I'd like to see one or both. If it goes to the house, oh my, I'd like that. As long as it's West Virginia, not Penn State. We were good at pressure on field goals and field goal blocks last year. I'd like to see that continue. But big positive play on special teams. That's my first question. Did we get it? Did we see that next step on offense? Did Garrett Green have better success on the short and intermediate passes? I mean, that's an obvious question. It's been talked about over and over again. So after this game, the question will be, did it happen? Did we see good results from all that work? And for that matter, the work on improving his long ball. As good as he was, the idea of throwing guys open, catching them in stride so that they go in for the score. Green would have had several more touchdowns if he had thrown not just to the right receiver, but to the right spot. And now this next one is tricky. How many total yards did Green have? Because we want him to have a lot of yards, but we don't necessarily want his running yards to be desperation. We don't want the passing yards to be because we were trying to catch up. Want things to just go West Virginia's way from the beginning. And that leads to the next question. Did we have a run of 20 yards or more? Last year against Penn State, ran the ball fairly well. Second best of any team against Penn State that season, second to Michigan. But we were mostly looking at runs of 5 to 9 yards. We needed to break some. Didn't have Jaheim White. Donaldson was injured. How does that change? Do we get one or more runs of 20 yards or more, which will definitely help open the offense? I suppose follow-up to that would be, did Jaheim White take one to the house? Waited all season for a long touchdown run, got a couple of nice touchdown catches, catch and run, but didn't make it to the house from 30 yards or more. I'd like to see that. Jaheim would like to see that. Jordan Cruz would like to see that, maybe more than White. Did a single back go over 100 yards? That's the addition. How many receivers have 50 yards or more in receptions? And I suppose follow-up on that is, do we have any drop ball issues at the beginning of the season? We fixed that after the early part of the season last year. It would help if we don't have to fix it this year. We just start with the focus where it needs to be. I mean, we're in much better shape in terms of everything than we were first game last year. Now, the esoteric question on offense, and it's kind of hard to even phrase this one, but did the play calling reflect the specific abilities of this year's offensive line? Coaches have said that guys on this line have better lateral movement than last year's line. Now, most of the conversation has been, hey, we're replacing a rather good center. We're replacing Nestor at tackle. Now, Nestor was a good tackle. He wasn't as good as Frazier was at center. But Frazier got to the second level very well. It will be hard for Yates. Yates isn't going to match him necessarily on that. But Yates may move left-right better. And just in general, will we see wider runs? Will this result in more pulling? One of the clips from last year when Yates was in the bowl game, we saw him pull and get a block outside of tackle. That's lateral movement. I don't really know what the offense will look like if they're trying to make use of lateral movement. How much of it is pulling? How much of it is outside runs? Obviously, we've got White, to do that. Donaldson can get outside, make no mistake. But I am curious how this year's line will affect the play calling and some of the design. We'll see mostly we will see the same plays as last year, but with different wrinkles. So how do they adapt? I don't know how many times I'll have to rewatch to even try to answer that question. On the defensive side, the big one, well, there's several big ones, I guess. Did the defense contain the quarterback? That was just an issue Penn State last year and a lot of other games. I am not asking, will we get pressure? We will. We got pressure against Penn State. We got pressure against pretty much everybody last year. But there were too many games where we brought the pressure and the quarterback got free, had time, hit a big play. Other games, we maintained containment and the results were significantly better. So when we get pressure, and we will get frequent pressure, did we maintain containment? Which means Aller doesn't have as much time to look for a receiver. Now, did the linebackers get into the passing lanes when they were asked to? Another problem last year. The linebackers did not affect the passes the way they needed to. Middle was way too open. Safeties couldn't cover their territory and the linebackers' territory. We've got better linebackers. If they get into the passing lanes, it will be how many balls got tipped? Did we get interceptions? We have guys with great ball instincts at linebacker. They could mess things up in the middle a lot. So, do the linebackers get into the passing lanes when they're not in the quarterback's face, bringing pressure? And the question has to be, did the defensive backs live up to the hopes and expectations or the fears? We have, in terms of the two deep, we have better corners and safeties in terms of talent, size, and speed than we have had in when? We've had good individual players, and we've even had a good starting set, but to have two deep and in some respects three deep, I don't remember when we have had a team like this. Now, we're going to need it. It's not going to be as hot, but we're looking at mid to upper 80s. Significant chance of rain, and I'm not sure who that helps or hurts, if anybody. West Virginia has done well enough in the rain with this group before. All right, pardon the interruption, back to the video. I suppose the biggest question of all is, did we win? I'm not going to try to analyze that. It's a long enough, way too long question. But there are a lot of things that I think West Virginia will be able to do well. I think overall it does come down to, did we clear up last year's mistakes? And did we enhance the running game? Now, obviously, the passing game should be better than it was against Penn State last year. We should be picking up not just where we left off at the end of last season, those last 5 games. We should be better. And if we had been better last year, I think we probably would have won the game. We had the ability to win the game. So I think maybe the question overall we can look at is, did West Virginia manage to out-execute Penn State's talent? Jaquay Hubbard said in an interview that angles beat speed. Technique versus sheer talent. Applied talent versus just numerical talent. Who plays the sharpest? Well, those are the questions. I'll be back. I will be doing a post-game show as soon after the show ends as I can get online. And Sunday, I will be doing the Sunday answers. I'm going to take a look at the questions I asked and what did happen. All right, guys, thanks for dropping in. I have a crap load of things to do today, so I probably should be doing some of them other than just this video. I have to remember what they are first, and then I will do them. Remember, I need about 95 more subscribers as things stand, if information is accurate, to maybe start paying a few bills here and there. Oh, quick update on Bob. We may have passed the critical point. He has been peeing on his own, and that was the main problem. Suspect some nerve issues caused by arthritis on his spine. Vet did a lot of things that weren't by the book to help us out. Gave him some more time, and things do seem to have improved. So we do have, it looks like, a good chance he'll be with us indefinitely. We don't really know what the problem was. We're guessing, so we don't know if it will flare up again, and we're not entirely out of the woods. The downside is now that we seem to be finished with the ongoing part of the vet visits, we have to pay the vet bill. Yes. That is something I'll be taking care of next week. Meanwhile, appreciate you guys being here, and I'll be talking to you later. So long.